What's up, y'all? Good afternoon. So I'm on my break right now. I'm just taking me a nice little walk. I just finished eating my lunch. So I'm gonna just walk with me, you dig? But I really want to talk to you guys about something that's on my mind. And it's basically about leveling up out of, friendships, right? Some of us have been friends with people since you was in kindergarten. Some of us have been friends since we met someone in community college. Everybody's story is unique. Everybody's story is going to be different, right? And friends, just like in life, they come and they go, right? So some of us, may still be lingering on with some of the people that, like I said, we bonded with from previous years. And things are cordial, things are going good, things are smooth, boundaries are being respected, things are, navigating itself and fostered itself in a healthy way. And some of us, are having, tarnished relationships due to the fact that, a lot of things are going on in people's lives, right? People have their own obligations, whether it be family, whether it be their health concerns, whether it be a job, things, relationships, people change, things change, and it is what it is. You got to be able to kind of like I said, be able to adapt to life circumstances and do what's beneficial for you. However, just to kind of pull it to my focal point, I met somebody in community college, and I was a whole different character back then. But at the same time, too, I've always been this individual that was, headstrong, ambitious, and I'm here with a purpose, trying to handle business. You dig? This individual that I'm referring to was kind of like the class clown. So they would walk in and have the whole class kind of just, discombobulated, laughing, et cetera, et cetera. And no shade to the individual, but I'm just kind of giving you guys some insight based on the person's maturity and where their headspace was at. However, me and the person, we clicked up, personalities, we linked up, everything was cool. And just to fast forward to where I'm at, because I kind of want to give you my development, I was able to, like I said, take things more seriously. I navigated from the community college, getting to the 4-year UMass Boston, and relatively different school, different paths, right? But we relatively live in the same state, same city type of thing. So it's that's how we connected, right? However, what really kind of made me get to the point where I'm at right now was basically a situation that just transpired recently, right? So as you guys can see, I work at MIT, right? And no more than about maybe 2-3 weeks ago, I was having a conversation with one of my supervisors, and my supervisor was able to tell me that basically, with the residents of the students basically leaving for the summertime, going home, etc., there's a lot of kind of supply stuff, just the stuff from the residents that they didn't want. It could be fans, ACs, comforters, books, just stuff that people just don't want because they're moving out. All the stuff that, you move in when you're in your dorm. Students, y'all know what's up, right? But moving forward, I went to one of the dorms, different sites, obviously different residential halls, and I was able to go find some stuff. I got me a nice little backpack. I got me, what else? Some hangers, throw that in the closet. And then I was able to see an AC. And the AC wasn't your typical kind of small type of AC. It was a nice little decent sized one. So it was running for at least, I would say, $400, right? I didn't need it, you feel me? Where I live, we got central air. What am I going to do with this? You dig? So I called up one of my boys, as I'm referring to, right? Stay with me, y'all. And I hit him up. He was like, yeah, he'll take the AC. So I said, all right, no problem. So I hit him up. I was like, yo, when I pull up to your crib, come downstairs, get the AC, and bada bing, bada boom. He took the AC. He ended up saying his shorty's cooking some food inside the crib, so come inside. We was able to vibe for a little bit, you know what I mean? And this dude was happy as hell, you know what I mean? And he couldn't stop dapping me up. He dapped me up at least, for those up there, you know what I mean, handshake type stuff, but dapped me up at least 4 or 5 times, you know what I mean? In joy, in happiness, you know what I mean, in relief, because he said he was actually looking for one, and he was blessed. However, he happened to say, yo, Taco Tuesday, slide through. I'm gonna give you some bread, and I also want to take you out to a spot of your choice for a restaurant, whatever. I'm like, all right, shoot, say that. You feel me? Tell me why. I'm gonna sit over here. We got time today. I'm in the shade with it. Today is you know what I mean? Tell me why. I end up going to the restaurant, right? Put my water down, but I end up going to the restaurant, right? And you know, something in me had a gut feeling. I'm able to kind of, like I said, I'm intuitive. I could read through situations and people's body language, etc. So I'm looking at this guy like, what's going on? But playing it smooth, right? So we go inside the restaurant and we sit down. We're having, you know, intermediate conversation, and then, you know, we make our orders. And then I get a call from one of my boys I used to work with at a school with, because I applied to this role, whatever. So I'm talking to him, chopping it up. I actually mentioned to him, so he knows what's up. You feel me? If you know, you know. He knows what's up. So I had a conversation with him about like, yo, they were interacting like, yo, homie's on some ish. I feel like he's gonna pull some nonsense today. I'm like, he's like, you know what I mean? People be like that. And this is almost like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know what's going to happen, but you're kind of getting the gist of what's going to happen based off, like I said, you're reading the body language, etc., just the vibe, energy, right? So I come back in, like I said, having my conversation with my homeboy. Like I said, I was working from the school. I sit down, food comes, waiter's coming, so she's dropping up our plates, etc. She's dropping off the plates. You know, I eat, they eat, we you know, we vibing, you know what I mean? He finished eating, me and his shorty were talking, etc., etc. You know what I mean? Everything's cool, you know? And then when the bill comes, with the waitress, he opens his mouth and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take care of me and my shorty, and he'll be separate." And I'm looking at him like, "Yo, like," and I don't know about y'all, like I'm not that individual I used to be before, where I shut down, like, and I freeze. I'm being passive aggressive. Like, no, I'm not. No, I call it. I'm thorough. You feel me? So I'm like, "Yo, what's the word? Like, you said you was gonna pay for, you know what I mean? What's going on right now?" And he's like, no, I'm gonna take care. I'm like, no, you said you was gonna take care of me, bro. Why are you playing games right now? Are you okay? And then he was like, I don't recall that. He kept, like, you know what I mean? Like, basically gaslighting me, you know what I mean? His girlfriend, I'm sitting right next to him, is like, no, like, babe, like, no, like, you said you was gonna take care of the bill, like, you feel me? He brought the AC and you said you're gonna take care of the bill. We're not doing that right now. And it was a whole little situation. He still was going on with I didn't remember. I truly just don't remember. And I'm not trying to put somebody on the hot seat, because I'm just not trying to really ice them out like that, right? So I'm just trying to give you guys the meats and potatoes about this situation, right? Without violating the individual like that, but really gotta, like, stick with me, right? So I had to set the boundary. I had to check the person right there. I'm like, yo, I don't know what's going on with you, bro. Like, what's mentally going on with you, and, like, in a respectful way. But this is absurd, bro. Like, you feel me? We recently had this transaction, no more. You feel me? Like, come on now. It hasn't even been 2 weeks. It hasn't even been a month. So what's going on with you? So I don't know if you have dementia. Like, what's really going on, bro? But, like, we're not gonna sit here and play this right now. And he still was running with it. So it was a sight to see. You know, it was a sight to see. And we all know people out here that play these manipulative games. I know we hear a lot of this word when it comes to narcissistic, etc. But for me, I try not to sit here, and I'm not going to clinically diagnose somebody if they're not going through that initial intake process. You feel me? Like, I'm not diagnosing my friends. That's not what I do, right? But I'm reading people's behavior. I'm reading people's energy. I'm effectively communicating my needs, right? Where my head's at, right? Being respectful. And I told him straight up at the table, I'm like, bro, I would not pull none of this shit with you, bro. You know that. And the old me too will leave you dead ass here right now, like where we stand. I would not be, you feel me, back in my car. Are you crazy? You feel me? So it's just like the way I handle things. I did everything to the best of my capabilities. I did a phenomenal job. But I want you guys to understand too, is that when you're dealing with people out here that emulate these qualities, and they're trying to sit here and finesse you, they sitting here trying to manipulate you, trying to play you like you're dumb, trying to use you. You feel me? Like, what, you think I drove all the way over here? You feel me? For you, like, yo, it's crazy. Like, and like I said to my boy on the phone, like, he's with a shorty too. So do you understand the perception, how this looks and how I feel? You understand? It's a lot. You know what I mean? It was a shit show. But I had to stand 10 toes. I had to hold my boundaries. I had to hold my ground. I had to express myself to the best of my capabilities in a respectful way. Like, don't get it twisted. The environment. You always got to keep that in context in mind. There's a family here. You got people eating, etc. So you got to be able to, you know what I mean, know how to communicate effectively. But, you know what I mean, read the room. You know what I mean? But I said what I had to say. I had a little conversation with him when we left. We're inside the car, and I really kind of opened up. I'm not gonna get too much into that because it's a little personal, right? He knows, she knows, because, you know what I mean, whatever's in the conversation, that's confidential on the back end. But I poured into this individual about what transpired, where my head was at, and certain things that I was seeing in regards to what was leading up to this point. And I made a distinctive decision for myself in regards to giving the snippers, cutting the person off. Because like I said, meeting this person from community college all the way to being right now, I'm gonna be real with myself, is that what's the why? What's going on here? Why is this person your friend? Are they your friend? Are they your brother, right? People tend to say these things because they want to remain gaining benefits from you. But I want to have you understand is that don't allow anybody to sit here and use you. Don't allow anybody to sit here and gaslight you and trick you like you're dumb. Don't let anybody sit here and play you outside your position. Don't let anybody sit there and allow you for you to lose your self-control where you crash out over something so silly. You feel me? You feel me? Don't. And I think, like I said, I'm happy I'm having this conversation and I'm opening up, and I'm happy I'm giving you guys the meats and potatoes of these things so you're able to kind of put what's essential to you and your life together. But these are real situations. These are things I lived through. You feel me? But with me having the clinical, skills, I'm able to navigate through these things a little better. But at the same time, too, I don't deserve to be in these situations. But it's what? It's life. It's life. And you know what's funny? There's a lot of animosity behind the scenes I want to share with you guys as well, is because why is it that when I graduated, this person didn't even say congratulations? And I'm not even on some I'm looking for that, but these are the people that we hang around. These are the people, like I said, that quote unquote say, bro this, bro that. You feel me? Pull up here, pull up that, and you show nothing but love. These are the people that you go hard for. We need to really reassess our circle. We need to really reassess our friend groups. We really need to reassess what we're doing around these people. Because I do not want you to be compromised, and I do not want you guys to be feeling that embarrassment or that shame or that guilt or just the, you feel me? The uncomfortability of just the irritability. You feel me? Real, recognize real, and we gotta really, you feel me? We gotta be able to, like I said, wisen up. Wisen up. When you're working on yourself, your personal development, your confidence changes. You're going to be looking at things with more self-acceptance, more self-respect, right? But it's just, like I said, do things that are going to be beneficial to you, because at the end of the day, as clear as day, you can see it. It's people not thinking about you, your well-being, how you feel, your emotions. They're not thinking about you at all. They're trying to use. And looks are what? Deceiving. I'm happy that his his girlfriend was, she's able to see through the nonsense, and she called him out for his nonsense. But there are people out here that, they play quiet, they play dumb, they play into these delusions, right? So I really want you guys, this is just, it's crazy to me. Because, like I said, I'm the same individual that, like I said, gives nothing but love to people. When you're about to throw a barbecue, something like that too, you need something. I'm pulling through with it. You feel me? I always go the extra mile. But like I said, we need to really, really evaluate things, because not to change you into a cold person. You make the best decisions for yourself, and you move according to what's beneficial for you. But we got to be more assertive. We have to be moving more smart, because hurt people. And there is a thing out here where I'm seeing is that there's people out here that are suffering, and they're trying to get their needs met. I don't know what's going on in people's childhood. I don't know what's going on with your traumatic situations. I don't know what's going on with your personal development situation in regards to how you want to be able to accept, take accountability, and move on to improve yourself. I don't know what people got going on in their life. But one thing that we can't control is your damn self. You cannot make this up, y'all. You know what I mean? But hopefully you guys were able to take some, real attributes from this experience, from someone trying to manipulate, gaslight me, make me feel like, I'm tripping, like something wrong. You feel me? Like I'm over here making this stuff up, when you over here giving nothing but love, giving someone an AC so they cooling in the summertime. You feel me? God bless this person. I wish nothing but blessings and just, you feel me? Corrective action for this individual in their life and their relationship. But I no longer am going to allow myself to be used, be abused, be gaslighted, and be mistreated by anybody. I seek people that want to be able to be loved, that want to be able to improve, that have confidence, right? That don't behave in these irrational ways, right? I want to be around people that are trying to heal. Because I believe that we all have that ability in us to do that with the right support. But like we all know, like I always emphasize, that mental health and doing this internal work is voluntary. Nobody can force it, but it always can be advertised. But like I said, you got to take action. If you found this video beneficial, give it a thumbs up, share if possible, and stay blessed.